I know, just don't you. Do you have a mic? Okay. Somebody got into the donuts. Hey, I can't help it if you guys don't have donuts. That is not my problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. How are we all today? Yay, fantastic. All right. Tired. Ah, man, I hear that. I hear that. All right, it's good to see everybody here. Glad you guys could all be seniors. Thanks for joining us again. They've been out serving all last month on Sunday mornings, so they'll be back with us today. We are starting out a little series called Messy Christmas, and this is going to kind of spill over onto Wednesdays and Sundays just for the next few weeks as we get into our Christmas spirit here. Don't forget, actually, we'll hit that up. Well, we'll do those right now. We handed out little advent calendars on Wednesday, kind of getting ready for Christmas. So if you don't normally do any reading and you're not doing any devotionals right now, we're going to give you two different opportunities to do something. Just getting in God's Word, even if it just takes a couple minutes. And so out there on the table, there's a little advent calendar where it just takes you're just going to read. And it's just got one or two Bible verses a day. It literally would take 30 seconds to read. And just we talked on Wednesday night about preparing our hearts and just being ready for Christmas. And so we don't get lost in all the other stuff's fun, presents and prizes. Does anybody have to compete for prizes for your Christmas mornings? Who gets everything? All right. Yeah, they make you do free throw contests to see which kid gets all the Christmas presents. That's a great idea. Save some money there. And you'll probably get it all. So all that other fun stuff's great, but this just allows you guys to kind of focus and put your heart on what's important. So there's those things. And then there's also, we have our Messy Christmas devotional on YouVersion. And our leaders are going to start trying to do these within your small groups. If you were not at our every first Sunday of the month leadership meeting, you missed some of those very important things. But I will catch you up with all of that stuff. And so we will be doing devotionals through your small groups and not as an entire student ministry right now. So leaders, we'll check that out here in a second. So leaders, if you weren't at the meeting this morning, come up here before you guys go to your small group so I can explain to you how we're going to run those things. So other than that, we do have just one big important announcement, and that is this Wednesday night. It's the first Wednesday of the month, so what's that mean? Thank you. Exodus XL. First Wednesday of each month is our XL nights, and this one is one of my favorites because it is our ugly Christmas sweater party night. So you can wear it again or get a different one, all right? So this Wednesday night, join us, 6:30, doors will open around 6 or around then. Come on down. We will kind of start out up top in the commons upstairs. There'll be some fire pit stuff going. We'll have some hot chocolate, just snacks and stuff. There won't be any real food, just lots of junk and snack stuff, okay? We'll start up there, come down here. We'll have a short service, some craziness, some Christmas music, some teaching, lots of games. Lots of chances to win some prizes. And we do have a baptism this Wednesday night. So Lindsay's going to get baptized this Wednesday night right here in the trough. It's been a while. Everybody used to love getting baptized in the trough, and then it was that's really cold. And they found out the water up there on Sunday morning is really warm. So everybody started I'll just do Sunday morning. But Lindsay's going to bring back the trough again. We're going to get baptized this Wednesday. So it's going to be awesome. If you've never been baptized, you're I would like to get baptized this Wednesday as well. Come talk to me, all right? We will do that and talk with your parents and see what we can do there, all right? So that's going to be an awesome night. So here's the deal. XXL nights, Exodus XL nights are, the whole point is for you guys to have a blast, but they're also opportunities for you guys to invite friends. That's why we, do worship a little different. We shorten the teaching time. Just an opportunity for you guys. Invite a friend. Hey, if you're not going to go, it's Christmas time. If you don't go to church anywhere, come check out our ugly sweater night, and it's going to be a good time. So all of you here should be inviting at least one friend. Remember, we always say, once you hear that tornado alarm, because you live in the Midwest, every first Wednesday, That tornado alarm does a little testing, all right? When you hear that alarm, that should be your thought of like, did I invite anybody yet? So everybody invite a friend, bring them on out, get an ugly sweater. It's going to be great, and we're going to have an awesome, awesome time with that. And I believe if you go to Focus, make sure you're following the GroupMe announcement because we may be postponing a night and just doing it next Sunday night. We have a few sick people out. Almost every house has something going on. So we might have to wait, and we have some leaders sick. Don't shake your heads. It's not my fault, all right? I don't control the sickness, all right? And so we just got some stuff going on, and so we might have to wait and just do something next Sunday night. So check out GroupMe because just you want to be aware of that. Other than that, I don't think we have any other announcements, do we? Good job. Solid transition, Will.
I got into a fight with 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. The odds were against me.
For those of you who are still thinking about that joke, you can ask your leader later, because I know some of you are like, I don't get it. It was odds. It's odd number. Thank you. All right. There, I saw some of you got, a light bulb just came on. All right. Let's do a quick game. We're going to do a quick game here. Oh, what was our last week's team competition points? Overall winner, 8th grade guys. Is this your second time this semester to win? Yeah? Third? Second? I think it might be 3. Did you guys win 3 out of 4 months? I think so. You guys should be disqualified. We need to take you guys up a tier level. All right, 8th grade guys won, right? Last one? Okay, 8th grade guys, we do have donuts for you all. Junior girls memorized last series scripture verse, so you guys get some donuts. How many junior girls are there? Raise your hand. 5? How many 8th grade guys are there? Raise your hand. We might be able to give away donuts today. 8th grade guys, raise your hands. There's just 4 of you? Oh. Well, there's a donut there. Oh, no. I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could eat a whole. All right, so we'll be able to give away donuts to a winning team here, I think, tonight. I think we'll be able to give away more donuts here. All right. So here is how we are going to do this game. Let's do. Hey, Will, how many questions are there on that game? I'm trying to change it up a bit to see if I can give away donuts to one group, but I don't think I can do that. All right, I need a mid-school guy and a friend, a mid-school girl and a friend, a high school guy group with 2 people, and 2 high school girls to come up to the stage real quick. So just a couple of people. Let me get 2 mid-school guys. And you got to be able to, hold on, let me tell you the game first, because I don't want another Christmas thing to happen again where we did the Christmas music and they completely bombed it. So here's what we're going to do. There will be a cue, like a little thing that'll pop up on the screen. One person will be standing this direction, which we're going to probably have to turn that TV off. One person will be out here, all right? There'll be something that shows up on there, on the screen. The person that's sitting down here can give clues, all right? You'll give clues, and I think it's got a 20-second countdown on there. And you got to give clues, but you cannot use any words that are on the screen. Any words that are on the screen. So, for instance, I don't even know an example of this right now. Let's just say as a picture of Patrick Mahomes was on the screen, all right? It won't be Patrick Mahomes, all right? And it might be a phrase. It's like Mahomes to Kelsey touchdown. All right, you have to describe that whole thing. They have to guess that whole thing, but you can't use any of those words. So you could be like, Chiefs quarterback throws this to his favorite tight end to score. You got to use those type of clues, and they have to guess the phrase or what's going on, and it's all Christmas-related stuff. You got 20 seconds, I think, is what it's got a little countdown in. If you don't get it, it goes on to the next person, all right? So they can steal your points to do that. Does that make sense? What's the name? What is that? Catchphrase? Is that basically what it? Huh? Taboo? Yeah. So whatever's up there, you can't say. And you just have to give clues for it, okay? So now you know how to do it. So I need people that are really good at giving clues, that know each other really well. You two, let's get you guys both up there. I know. So we got 2 high school girls. I need a couple mid-school girls. All right, I'm gonna go with our 6th grade girls. Come on up here. Come on up here. And I need 2 mid-school guys and 2 high school guys. High school guys, you guys better figure it out, high school guys, or I'll pick you myself. All right, 2 mid-school guys. Who are we going back there? Mark, you were just up here, Martine, for a game. We got only 4 mid-school guys are volunteering. All right, Colton, come on up and grab somebody. Just pick somebody to come with you. All right, and I need 2 high school guys. Sure, why not? Come on up here. Come on up here. This technically, you're not a high school guy anymore, but we're going to allow, since he's home from college, we'll allow Ethan to come on up here with Macias. Hold on, did you guys see anything, though? You didn't see any of the slides, right? Okay, you can't see anything. Okay, so come on over here. I need whoever's saying the clues is going to be down here. Whoever's guessing will stand up there. Hey, will we be able to see it on that TV? Will? No? Okay. So who's saying the clues? You're saying the clues? Okay, you're saying the clues. Come down over here, boys. Girls, scoot over a little bit. Stand right here. Hey, audience, don't help out. Guys, remember, so if Macias keeps giving clues and Ethan doesn't get it, it goes straight over to you guys, okay? And then you'll have a chance. So you're going to want to be listening to these clues. You guys are not allowed to turn around, though, all right? Don't allow. Audience, don't help them out. Don't say anything else, all right? And so we'll see. So today's points will go to either all mid-school guys or all high school guys, all mid-school girls, or all high school girls, okay? Fair enough. All right, Macias, I'm going to give you a microphone, too. Let's try. We're going to turn blue and white on.
Eagles, Grand Valley.
All right,
1, 2. Hey.
All right. You got it?
Hello.
Okay, there
Hello,
will be a
Macias.
countdown. There will be a timer. Are we ready back there? All right, representing high school guys for the points, Macias and Ethan. Are we ready? All right, here we go. Here's your first one. And you got to say the whole thing. I will be the judge, all right? How close you get to it. Ready? Go for it.
Okay, who did Santa have fly his sleigh?
Rudolph.
What was he?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, that was super easy on that one. Thank you. All right, here we go. Here goes the next one. Don't turn around. Don't turn around.
Okay, the first day of Christmas. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, yeah. Right? And a partridge in a pear tree, right? Yeah, there you go. We'll allow it. Try to hold the microphone like this and be loud, okay? Nope. Right there. There you go. Be loud, girls. All right, go to the next one. Good luck.
It's
Anything.
it's a song. It's in a song, a Christmas song, and cooking nuts on a flame.
Nope. Time. You guys said a word. Keep going, keep going, keep going. I can't say what. No, stay up here, stay up here, stay up here. Actually, no, you're disqualified. We'll do that way. That way we can rule people out. All right, come over here, come over here, come over here. All right, start that one over. They get a top of the clock. He didn't look. No, you guys don't look. Did you look? You're disqualified. Go sit down. Just you two. Just you two. All right. Hey, you guys just weed it out. Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Did you look? You looked? Disqualified! Mid-school guys for the win! Okay, give them a different one, because let them eat. Let's let them try to get one, fairly here. Okay, here we go. It's going to be an all-new one.
close to pajamas.
Oh, you said pajamas. You're all disqualified. All of you. All of you disqualified. I mean, you what? I hear lots of yelling going on. Oh, she accidentally looked? You didn't mean to? Oh. I mean, I don't know. All I know is time-wise, we have to move on. So no one got points this week. No points for anybody. Don't look at me like that. I'm not Andrew. I don't just hand out points freely, all right? All right, you got to earn it. Andrew's the nice one, gives everybody 35 billion points. You got to earn your points with me. We're going to save that game for next week, all right? We'll save it. Don't worry. Junior girls, you still got your donuts. 8th grade guys, you guys still got donuts today. And I'm going to give donuts to whoever I feel like pays attention the best over the next few minutes, all right? So we're going to go ahead, check out this little bumper video as we get into our series here. Was that part of the video? What happened? We okay back there? I'm scared now. We're so scared to turn it up back there now. I don't know what that was. I apologize to everybody. We're gonna get into things here. We already kind of joked about this a little bit this past week, but how, most people love Christmas. It's always a great time. And how many of you guys get into Christmas music at your age? How many of you guys are listening to at least some Christmas music? Okay, good. You're a little worried. Some of the hands weren't raising up. Molly, where's Molly at? Molly, are we not counting down for Christmas anymore? Or do we? What? Okay, you are still counting. I feel like I haven't heard that much Christmas out of you lately, Molly. I didn't know if you're losing your Christmas spirit there. So we're all kind of told Christmas always has this be cheery and joyful, and it's all great and everything's shiny and happy and perfect, and we see all these perfect pictures and stuff. And I was just joking with my wife about the fact that even putting out your own Christmas lights anymore. I used to hang lights up on my house and stuff a long time ago until I kind of almost slid off my roof, and I was like, this is stupid. Why am I doing this? Why am I hanging up lights for people to drive by and look at that I don't even get to look at? And so I kind of stopped doing that. But I joke because so many people have their lights professionally hung on their house now that if I go out and do it myself, it's just going to look pretty janky. So why even bother doing it that way? And so everything always looks so perfect and awesome, and that's not always the case. So I want to see kind of from you guys give me a story from Christmas that, and it can be funny. You don't have to it doesn't have to be super sad or depressing or anything, but does anybody have a story from Christmas where everything just got completely messed up or crazy? Somebody broke all your presents, or something happened. I want to anybody remember Christmas just it was a mess that year? Anybody lost on vacation or something? Yes, sir. What do you got? One of your guinea pigs started eating the presents, just the paper and boxes and all that? Why was your guinea pig loose? Guinea pigs. I tell you what. Yes, sir. Oh, that is sad. Your house flooded? Oh, it was in the basement area? Okay. Got to keep those presents up high, man. Was it all, what morning was it? Was it Christmas morning? Okay, so it's still early enough to get things back on track. I mean, flooding all your presents is pretty bad. Martine? You almost what? That's not a Christmas story, Martine. Martine, I'm gonna. Why do I keep calling on you? Every time I know he's gonna. Every time I know he's gonna have you something. Yes, ma'am. How many of you guys have been sick on Christmas? Anybody? The worst. It's just the worst. Get stuck in a tent. All right. I still make fun of my brother for this. He had a dog that he worked at a pet store, and sometimes he would just, he'd bring home a dog. He's like, oh, I just got one. And my mom was like, stop bringing home animals. You can't just keep everything you want. And so he brought home this dog, and he took it over to our grandma's house. And the first thing it did is he ran to the Christmas tree because she still had a real tree. And he ran. Dog doesn't know an indoor tree is any different than an outdoor tree. So he goes straight over to the Christmas tree and just lifts his leg, pees all over the Christmas tree inside there. Got over some of the presents and gifts. He kind of rammed his way through. He was like a rot mix with something. I don't know. It's just a mutt. And that's why the pet store was like, we don't want this. Someone dropped him off there. So he's like, oh, I'll take it. So this dog peed all over the tree. And then when we had food out, and luckily we had our dinner first, but it was still, you leave food out and you're like, I may go back and get more. And it was all out on the table, and some of the desserts were out. And we were over in the living room talking, and we're like, well, let's get up and go eat dessert. And we just hear this, and we go in there, and the dog is on the table, just eating everything it can, just walking off stuff, knocking, and it was still a puppy, but it was a big puppy because it was like a Rottie mixed with 5 other breeds. It was this total mutt that he had for years. And just swatting everything and giant paws and just knocking off everything. And I was like, Grandma is going to lose it right now. Because when that dog came in and peed on the tree, she was like, oh, great. She was like, Grandma was trying to keep her under control, but she was kind of frustrated that Charles just brought this dog. And then when it was over there eating, I thought, oh my gosh, I've never seen Grandma kick my brother out, but she might do it right now. And I thought for sure. And I was, little brothers, you're kind of you're waiting for that, oh, let him have it, Grandma. Let him have it. This is going to be great. Because, the rest of all the food was just ruined. Desserts were ruined. The rest of the thing, I was like, Grandma, he ruined Christmas. You might want to take care of this. And my grandma just started laughing, though. She just started cracking up laughing, which I couldn't believe because animals were never, thank you, allowed to be in the house. But she just uncontrollably, it's a word. Started just cracking up laughing as this dog was just eating and eating and eating. He grabbed him and threw him outside in the backyard. But it was one of those things where it was like, well, no leftovers, no dessert, no nothing for anybody. And dog peed on some of the presents. And it was just this weird, funny thing. But it was so random and so crazy that my grandma was like, what are you going to do? It's just all done. And I'm like, what are you going to do? Grandma, get mad at him. Get mad. Give me his presents. But she didn't, and it was pretty funny, but it was one of those things where you can kind of it was going to teeter either way. I was like, oh, either my brother ruined Christmas or he made it this hilarious thing. And she would joke around about it for the next few years, just always remember when the dog got up on the table and started eating everything? And I'm like, yeah, you were supposed to bust him, Grandma, but you didn't. But it turned into something funny. And so it kind of was all depends on how you view things, but not everything is always going to be perfect. And that's kind of what we're talking about over this series of Messy Christmases. Although sometimes things always appear to be perfect and we want everything to be perfect, it doesn't always end out that way. Anybody's parents do when they set the table, they spend more time decorating the table than they actually do on the food. Does anybody's family just go all out decorating? Some of you guys do. Just everything always has to look perfect, and we take pictures of it, and we put them out there. It's that time of year where so many people go and, you put on your matching family clothes, and you go take your family photos. We want things to look perfect. We want things to look clean. One of my favorite things is just to leave all of the Christmas trash out on the floor. I want it to look as messy as possible on Christmas morning. If you think I'm joking, I'm not. I like to, once it's all wrappers and paper and everything, I just want it to look trash because it's that's what Christmas really looks like. It's a mess and it's a whirlwind and it's a disaster and it's awesome. And that's how it should look. And when we look back at this story, we're going to take a quick peek just at the nativity for a second. And we have this very different views of how you picture a nativity, how you picture the little manger. When you think of nativity, what kind of comes to your mind? What do you think of? What does it look like? No, I'm not. What does it look like? Do what? A little barn. You say little animals? You said little animals? Okay, yeah, like a lamb, a little perfect lamb just laying there. It's all clean. And, little manger, a little bed, a little baby laying in there, and everything always looks so peaceful and so calm. And we think of the songs we sing about that. But in reality, so much of this Christmas story was pretty chaotic. And a lot of it was pretty messy. And it's how we view these things that can really kind of change our opinions on it. So we make things to look one way, to be perfect, but in reality, not everybody. It's not like your lives just all change instantly. If you're going through some junk in October, in November, if you got some relationship issues, if there's some stuff going on at home, if you have some own personal stuff and stress or whatever's dealing with your life, it's not like all of a sudden once, 102 starts playing Christmas music, you're like, well, I don't know, no big deal. Oh, I totally forgot about that breakup. Oh, not even thinking about that class I'm failing. Oh, all the drama at school just magically goes away because it's Christmas and everything gets perfect now. And we'll put all our sweaters and we'll snap to some old songs. And, hey, Mariah Carey, no longer have anxiety or stress. All right. And everything just goes away. It doesn't happen that way. But we kind of pretend for it to be that way. But when you look at this and kind of see what's really taking place, we understand that that wasn't really the scene. When we look at these verses, I want us to think about what's really taking place here. When you go, and so Luke chapter 1 and 2 kind of has the whole birth of Jesus and leading up to it. And so it talks about in Luke chapter 1, the angel that appears to Mary, and he says, "Do not be afraid, Mary, you have found favor with God. You will conceive and give birth to a son, and you are to call him Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. The Lord will give him the throne of his father David." And so you have this really cool thing where Mary is being talked to by this angel saying, you will be the one that gives birth to the Messiah. On Wednesday night, we talked about how the leading up to this was so huge and so important, and this was going to be this great thing that God had been putting in place for hundreds of years. And Mary is going to give birth to this Messiah. And we think that's so awesome and so beautiful, and we have this picture of this nativity and everything's perfect. But we don't realize is what a mess this would have caused of Mary's life. Mary was young. She was a young lady. She was just getting engaged. She was not married yet. And so automatically, she's young, and now she's going to have a child. This was going to throw off probably some of her life plans that was taking place. Not only the fact that she wasn't married and she's going to give birth to a child, that put her in danger. Getting pregnant before you were married during that time could have risked getting expelled from your family, especially since she was supposed to get married, which she was engaged to somebody, which would have automatically assumed whoa, you straight up cheated on Joseph and you're pregnant with somebody now. That risked death during their culture. So this was not just some perfect little setting of Mary, you're pregnant. Oh, yay, this is so great. Mary had a very messy scenario taking place here, a very scary scenario taking place here, where she would have had had to answer questions to her family, to her friends, to her community of what was taking place here, to Joseph on what was about to take place here. So she would have been in the midst of all of this mess, all of this junk. None of it would have looked as perfect and as serene and as calm as, we sing Silent Night, Holy Night, and all this stuff. And Mary, did you know? And we sing all these songs, and it's oh, it's so beautiful. But what's really taking place here was very messy situation. And so even when it came time to give birth, all right, it wasn't a perfect thing. She had to travel all this land, and so we kind of skipped some time here because Joseph was visited by an angel as well. Joseph came to the conclusion of what was taking place here. He was able to kind of, clean up all the gossip and the mess and everything, and so whatever happened in between there kind of got cleaned up the situation. But even the birth of Christ, as they're traveling all this way to get over to Bethlehem, as they're traveling this land and there's no room anywhere. And when you jump over to chapter 2, verse 6, it says, while they were there, that the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son, and she wrapped him in clothes and placed him in a manger because there was no guest room available for them. There was no other areas available, so they would have been kind of on the outside of one of these inns or one of these hotels or one of these places, and so because there was no room where they were traveling to. So even that is a very messy situation. When you think of having your house flooded with your presents or dogs ruining dinner, that is nothing compared to, like, I think you're going to have to give birth to a child in a barn. It's not like giving birth is easy anyway, but especially not when, like, they didn't have a hospital and doctors and medicine and all these things hooked up to them. It was just, you're going to be in a barn because that's the only room giving birth. It was a very difficult situation. And so here Mary is. None of these things were lined up and looked perfect, but God was at work. See, God placed them in the right situation to match up what was going to be spoken about, how God had been preparing this for hundreds and hundreds of years at the perfect time in the perfect situation. God was getting this ready. And as Mary is dealing with her messy situation and just trying to make the best of it, God was at work in the lives of shepherds not far from there. He had placed her in the exact spot, in the exact place, right where he needed this to happen, so that when he called out the shepherds living out in the fields nearby, it jumps down a few verses. It says, keeping watch over their flocks at night, an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord, and this will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in clothes and lying in a manger. See, God had set up all of these things. If Mary was in a castle, in a first-class, 5-star establishment, these shepherds wouldn't have been allowed to go into that area. He was allowed to be placed in a manger to show everybody can approach this Savior. This is not the Savior for the rich, for the privileged, for the perfect. This is a Savior for everybody. And the first people that will spread the news will be shepherds. And so while Mary is in this very confusing situation thinking, I'm giving birth to the Messiah in a manger, this is not what I had in mind. Meanwhile, God was at work bringing shepherds over. These shepherds would come, and when they came to visit, and they would see what was taking place there. And during this time, these shepherds went and they found Mary and Joseph and the baby who was lying in the manger. And when they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what had been told to them about this child. And all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. So these shepherds find Jesus, and then they go and share it with other people. Mary had no idea what God was doing in her messy situation, but yet God was at work through that, using that. So even at the very first beginning of the birth, God was already using this to spread the news that a Messiah had been coming. A Messiah that Jewish people had been waiting hundreds of years for. They had been waiting for this moment. And so when the shepherds heard this and started telling it, people were drawn to it. And they are searching, and they were coming. They were wanting to know more about these things. And so when it says that they came back, all these people were amazed. The shepherds tell them about this. We go on to see, that's when things started clicking for Mary. And it makes it a point in Luke chapter 2, verse 19. It says, Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. She took a moment and realized all of this junk that I've been going on this past 9 months, this birth, this traveling, I'm in a manger, there's shepherds, all of these things all of a sudden started making sense. God was at work all along. And it said she treasured them in her heart. Have you ever seen your parents just looking at you smiling like weirdly? Anybody ever? They're like, what are you looking at? And they're like, I just love you, all right? They're just saying that. I joked about this last year. I remember when I was at college, after I'd been gone the first year, I woke up, I was coming home, I was home for Christmas break, and I woke up, and my mom was like taking a picture of me lying in bed. Like, what are you doing? Get out of here. And she's like, I don't see you every day anymore because you're off at college. I want to take a picture. I don't get to see you sleeping anymore. I'm like, when were you watching me sleep when I lived here? She's like, don't worry, I watch you all the time. I'm like, oh, Mom, you're so weird. Get out of here. But she took a picture of me sleeping because she's like, someday you'll understand. And I do understand that now. We always watch our kids. We understand that now, and you'll get it someday too. She was taking these and pondering these things. She found joy in the mess. She found joy in what was a very difficult situation. And so I want to use this and encourage you because Christmas is not about being perfect. Christmas isn't about getting the perfect gifts or having the perfect family. Some of your families right now may look very messy. Some of you may be celebrating Christmas in a different way this year than you normally do. It's not easy. And I just want you to know that it's okay, and you still can celebrate what God does in your heart. You still celebrate and know and understand what God's doing is not dependent always on exactly how your circumstance, and God still uses those things. In the same way Mary's situation was not perfect, God was still at work. And so I want you guys to be able to take that and not compare your Christmases to other people's Christmases. Don't compare your families to other people's families or your own situation to what other people show you on their Instagram accounts or whatever. But understand that just because it's Christmas doesn't mean things have to be perfect, but we can understand that God has promised you, and He's there. And in your own whatever messy situation you may have at life that maybe people know about, maybe they don't know about, that God is still at work. And I think that, to me, is one of the coolest things about this story is sometimes we want everything to appear to be perfect at Christmas, but God said it was never that way. It came into the world in a very tricky situation, but God was at work. And so when you guys go to your groups today, I just want you to kind of think about, like, how can you use the Christmas stuff around you as reminders for that? What can you use during Christmas as reminders? Like, man, no matter what, God is still there. There's still joy to be found in this Christmas season. There's still understanding of what took place here and how God set it up perfect. And maybe in your own life, you can look and talk with your leader and say, here's what's kind of going on, but maybe kind of think, but this is probably kind of how God is using that in my life. And so just talk about your own situations, how Christmas may be a little bit messy for you this year. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something in the past of how God's used that. But just understand that, man, God is at work, even in times when we don't always understand it or see it. All right? I'm going to pray and then let you guys go off to your groups. God, Lord, thank you just for our students. Thank you for this time of year. And it is a time of year where we wrap everything perfect, and we make the perfect meals, and we decorate everything perfect, and we put our perfect lights out, and all that stuff's fun, and it's awesome. But it's not always perfect. And God, that's okay. We know that you're still there. We know that you are at work, and sometimes you do the most amazing, most beautiful things in what sometimes can look as a very messy situation. Sometimes you can create the most incredible memories of laughter and joy. It's something that we thought was going to be really bad. And so, God, I thank you for that, and thank you for always being there, and thank you for doing things, even when we don't always see them or understand them in that moment. Amen. All right, you guys, go ahead and, you guys are all dismissed. 8th grade guys, Jay, I'm going to give you guys your donuts, and junior girls, I'll give you guys some donuts. And then we'll see what's left after that. After I eat one of them. How many are you? 5, 6?